They are one of the most powerful dog breeds in the world and have an estimated bite force around 500 pounds of pressure per square inch when they bite. What does this mean? So they're an aggressive dog, right?
This is a list I am both extremely excited about and sad I even have to make it at all as someone who absolutely loves dogs. Dogs truly are man's best friend, but there are some breeds who have just gained a bad reputation through bad breeding and bad training or simply just some bad publicity. There are many large dog breeds out there, which means that there are many powerful, strong, and intelligent animals that just need the right owner to train them properly, but despite that, some people continue to be scared of them. These animals can certainly be frightening, but many of them are also extremely lovable, loving, and downright adorable. On today's top 10 list, we are going to be diving into the top 10 illegal dog breeds that are banned, and probably also talking about how cute they all are while we're at it. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have the Japanese Tosa. This is actually a breed of dogs I am quite unfamiliar with, so I was very excited to learn more about them. These guys were specifically bred to be used in Japanese dog fighting, so they were made to be large and strong, but trained to be quiet fighters. To get these dogs, basically they just bred a bunch of large breeds together like Great Danes, Mastiffs, Bull Terriers, and St. Bernards, mixed with a bunch of indigenous Japanese dogs, and now we have the Tosa. These guys weigh anywhere from 80 to 200 pounds, which is obviously quite large. Considering how they were bred, these guys are of course super huge, but because Japanese dog fighting is supposed to be silent, with no growling, barking, or whimpering, many of these dogs are trained to be very silent. Because they were bred to be fighting dogs, many people are scared of them, which has led to them being banned in many countries, which includes Denmark, Malta, Norway, the UK, Australia, the UAE, and Iceland, just to name a few. These guys are definitely large, but are absolutely beautiful animals, and I'm sure they are just misunderstood like a lot of the other dogs on this list today. In our number 9 spot today, we have Dogo Argentino. These dogs were originally bred to be fighting dogs in Argentina, but it was quickly discovered that they were also quite good hunters. A doctor named Norris Martinez was the man behind the creation of these dogs in 1928 after breeding Cordoba fighting dogs with other muscular breeds such as Bulldogs and Terriers. These guys are strong and muscular and have been known to be able to hunt wild animals such as boars and pumas, which is obviously pretty crazy. Because of their nature and the way that they are bred, they of course can be dangerous when not trained properly, but I think that's the case with most larger breed dogs. Because of people not knowing how to properly train and take care of these animals, there has been reports of them attacking humans and even their owners, which is what has led to them being banned in over 10 countries, which includes the UK, New Zealand, the Ukraine, Denmark, and Portugal. And while they aren't banned everywhere in the US, they're banned in several states including Colorado, New York, and Michigan. In our number 8 spot today, we have the American Pit Bull Terrier. These guys fall under the category of pit bulls, which is probably the most polarizing category of dogs in the world. These lovable cuddlebugs are horribly misunderstood due to bad trainers, bad owners, and people who breed these dogs just to fight. Despite their name, these dogs were first created in the UK after mixing Old English Terriers and Old English Bulldogs, and they were bred to be fighting dogs. These dogs are extremely athletic and strong, but also so loving and kind, which is not often talked about when referencing the breed. American Pit Bull Terriers are one of the most intelligent of the pit bull breeds, and at one point they used to be an extremely well-respected breed until bad owners stepped in and ruined that name for the dog. Many people believe that these dogs were bred to be aggressive towards humans, but that is just not true, and these dogs were simply bred to be strong and athletic. Because of the fear people have for these dogs, it is extremely common for people to be afraid of them despite their naturally sweet disposition. Fear has led to these dogs being banned in many countries such as Australia, New Zealand, Ecuador, France, Germany, and Spain, as well as some US states, and unfortunately for me, Ontario here in Canada. In our number 7 spot today, we have Brazilian Mastiffs. These big boys were first bred in Brazil and were originally meant to protect cattle and also to chase slaves that had run away, which is truly quite dark. These dogs were created by mixing Mastiffs, Bulldogs, and Bloodhounds, and many people believe that these dogs have an almost cat-like appearance, but that is something I just don't personally really see. These dogs are calm and stoic and are always on guard. One thing about these dogs that is quite different from other breeds is in reference to their attack style. They don't directly attack like most dogs and instead are known to trap their prey and wait for the right moment. These dogs have the ability to hunt down large wild animals like boar, and even jaguars, which is kind of insane. These dogs have received a bad reputation because they can be quite difficult to train and can have a temper which makes them not great at listening to commands. Just like any dogs, these are just another breed that needs to be owned by people who know how to handle them, especially due to their strength and intelligence. Because of their bad reputation, they are banned in countries like the UK, Norway, some parts of Australia, and New Zealand. In our number 6 spot today, we have wolf dogs. Well, this is one that's probably pretty self-explanatory, as these dogs are exactly what the name would suggest. Wolf dogs are obviously a combination of domestic dogs and wolves, but there are mixes that are more common than others. It is usually grey wolves that are responsible for the wolf half of the hybrid, and German shepherds are commonly the other half, but realistically a wolf dog could be most any wolf with most any dog. These hybrids are considered dangerous because they are smarter, stronger, and bigger than regular dogs, and have the ability to hunt and kill animals like elk, moose, and bison, which is pretty insane. Most places don't classify wolf dogs as domestic animals, which would lead to them being banned as pets. These guys are obviously more difficult to train as they're half wild animal, but that certainly does not mean it's impossible to train them. These animals do have a high prey drive considering their ancestry, so it's usually not recommended to have them in a home with children, just as a safety precaution. These dogs of course would need a high amount of exercise and would definitely thrive in a home where they have a large outdoor area to roam, maybe without other animals. Wolf dogs are banned in most American states as well as in Finland and Norway. In our number 5 spot today, we have the American Bulldog. Okay, bullies are one of my personal favorite breeds, so it is so sad to have to include them on this list. American Bulldogs are known as family dogs and are amazing protectors as well as cuddle companions. These dogs are often confused with American Pit Bull Terriers as they do look quite similar, but they are different. These dogs have often been used in the past on animal farms as well as in dog sports and unfortunately dog fighting. They're often used as protection dogs and watchdogs because of their protective nature, but as long as they don't feel as though someone is threatening them or those they love, they're extremely loving dogs as well. These guys were especially great at catching feral hogs, which can weigh several hundred pounds and have large tusks. Even so, they are no match for the American Bulldogs, as this breed is able to take them down and hold them into submission until the hunter arrives. This certainly is a no small feat at all. American Bulldogs usually weigh somewhere between 70 to 120 pounds, but there are of course some of this breed that can grow even larger. Just like other pit bull breeds, because of bad owners and terrible training, these guys have received a ton of bad publicity and are often labeled as unwelcoming or vicious. Because of the bad reputation they have been banned in many places such as Denmark, Singapore, Italy, and some American states. Also, there's one that lives in the building next to me. If you're watching this, Lexi, I love you. She's so cute. In our number 4 spot today, we have the Bandog. The Bandog is basically a term that is used to describe really large dogs that are used as protection, but most Bandogs were created from the breeding of 2 already controversial breeds, which are Mastiffs and American Pit Bull Terriers. This combination gives them the size of a Mastiff, which if you've met one before, you know is quite large, and the drive and athleticism of bully breeds. Because of their size and appearance, these dogs are commonly used for protecting property, and during medieval times they would stay chained up during the day, but at night would be free to roam around and catch any potential predators that might be lurking around. These guys are muscular and stocky just like the breeds they come from, and they share a very similar temperament to their parent breeds as well. Basically anywhere there's a ban on either Mastiffs or American Pit Bull Terriers, there will be a ban on Bandogs, and as we all know, that's a lot of places. Bandogs really became more prominent in the late 60s after a vet named John Swinford began breeding them. The most famous was probably Bantu, who was a large and powerful dog who was known as a great fighter. Despite everything I just said, if we take a look at the parent breeds of Bandogs, like I already discussed with American Pit Bull Terriers, Mastiffs are no different in being extremely lovable and kind dogs that make life a whole lot brighter. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Neapolitan Mastiff. These Mastiffs are an Italian breed and they go all the way back to 700 BCE in the Roman Empire. It was then that these beautiful dogs were used as war dogs, gladiators, and guardians in the Roman Empire, and because of how big they are, that totally makes sense. These guys are very closely related to cane corsos, which is another polarizing breed that I happen to absolutely love. These guys usually weigh somewhere around 100 pounds, but of course there are always bigger dogs and smaller dogs in any breed. Like many large dogs, these guys only live to be about 10 years old, which is just never long enough with a loved animal. This breed has a super friendly temperament, but people worry about them around children due to their size, which is what has led to them having a bad reputation, despite not being very vicious at all. These dogs have been banned in places such as Singapore and a few US states, and there are some places that require the dog to take a psychological evaluation before they can be adopted or bought and placed into a home. In our number 2 spot today we have Boerboel. I don't know how to say that word. This is another breed that I honestly really hadn't ever heard about before this video, obviously. These guys originated in South Africa and their name literally means farmer's bulldog. They got their name because they were used as protection for those walking through the woods, and they have even been known to hunt down leopards and baboons. This breed is extremely courageous and often doesn't show fear to any animal, other dogs, or to strangers. They offer great protection for those they love because of this fact. These dogs are feared because of their strength and their powerful bite. They have the ability to easily tear through muscles and tendons and have even been able to crush bones. These dogs have been involved in some fatal attacks, which has of course led to people being afraid of them, but like I've mentioned on this list multiple times already, all large dogs have this ability. It's just about training and having an owner that can handle them. These dogs like to be dominant, so it's very important that they have a trainer who can consistently show more dominance than they can. This breed is banned in Romania, Denmark, Russia, and the Ukraine, and in many other countries they are required to be muzzled while out in public. And finally, in our number 1 spot today guys, we have Rottweilers. This is a breed that has a very similar problem to pit bulls, and that is humans. These dogs began running into problems when people started mass breeding them. Because of their size and protective nature, these animals became very popular to breed and be sold as protection dogs. With this mass sale of them in this way, of course too many people who don't know how to raise them properly ended up getting their hands on these beautiful dogs, which led to them being labeled as an aggressive and scary dog instead of the lovable goofs that they really are. Many of the dogs of this breed that are raised incorrectly end up being aggressive out of fear, and it truly has nothing to do with their nature at all. These dogs are strong and extremely loyal and are great for those who know how to deal with them. Rottweilers are banned in many US states and cities, as well as in Spain, France, Italy, Romania, Israel, and the Bermuda Islands. These dogs make great cattle and herding dogs, and some have even been known to begin herding cattle with no prior experience or training, so it really is just in their nature. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. If you have any of the dogs I've mentioned in this video, hit my DMs on Instagram and send me a picture of them because I want to see all your little cutie animals. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you next time. Bye!